What's up, y'all? Will here at Schedulefly. This is a fun episode with Jay Elowsky at Pasta J's in Boulder, Colorado. Got here on Sunday, drove to Boulder, dropped my bags at Dave Query's house, and walked over to Pasta J's, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Place is packed out. I mean, just hopping. And I tell them I'm there to see Jay, and they walk me around the corner, and there sits just a smiling, happy guy. They're waiting to do this episode. And that was my first time I had met Jay or spoken to Jay. Welcomed me with just a very warm, happy welcome. And we sat down in the area called the Godfather Room in his restaurant. Has a poster of Marlon Brando as Don Corleone. And we talked about the Godfather. We talked about a lot of stuff. We had a fun time. And the great thing about pasta is you can quietly eat it while you're doing a podcast. And since it's not crunchy, nobody can hear it. So I took down a big plate of stuffed shells while we did this episode. And I had so much fun with Jay. He's got Pasta J's there. It's been there for 35 years in Boulder. He has another Pasta J's in Moab and a steakhouse there as well. So now that's a newer addition. But Jay's been at this for a long time. Great dude. A lot of great advice. A lot of fun. If you're in the Boulder area, Pasta J's is a staple. You got to check it out. And certainly if you go to Moab, he's got 2 great places there too. And I do plan on going there this October and checking them out. So I'm looking forward to that, Jay. Before we get into this episode, let's have a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor is Pop Menu. And Pop Menu is a new partner with Schedulefly. And they're an awesome partner. And we're excited about this. Been working, it's been a few months now, and we have a lot of mutual customers with them, and they're all very happy with the product and with the service and with the results. So what is Pop Menu? Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, and capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and many others. Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and wait listing, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour. And there's just so much more in there. There's a link to Pop Menu in the show notes. Check it out. Look, my personal take on this is that's what they asked me to read. I'll say this. We have a lot of customers that use Pop Menu, a lot of Schedulefly customers. I've spoken to a lot of those customers, and they're very happy with Pop Menu. It produces results. It's a great product. They take great care of their customers. Really good business. So y'all check them out and enjoy this episode. From Jay Elowsky in Boulder at Pasta J's. See ya. All right, I'm at Pasta J's here in Boulder, Colorado, Sunday afternoon, March 12th, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Pearl Street's hopping. Pasta J's is hopping. We're sitting in the Godfather Room, and I got to meet Jay, a longtime customer, for the first time today. So, Jay, thank you, man.
Thank you for having me, Will. This is awesome. Really appreciate it.
Well, appreciate you doing this, man. I've got like a million questions I want to ask you, and just talking to you for a few minutes on the way, just before we started, that like prompted a million more. But I'm excited to have your stuffed shells here in a few minutes.
Good. That's a favorite, man.
So
That's
I'll
a big
ask
seller.
you some like open-ended questions so you can give long answers while I eat.
Okay.
But okay, so first of all, this place is This is awesome. What's going on out here? Is this a normal Sunday out on Pearl Street, or is there?
They're having a little street closure today and doing, they call it street activation.
Okay.
And so they're doing a little après, I think the theme is a little après ski, so they've got some fire bins out there, pits out there that they're, so people can warm their hands with, and playing some, cornhole, and people are offering coffee and free stuff out there, so almost like a street fair.
Your place is packed here. Are you normally like this on 4 o'clock on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Really?
Our rush on Sundays comes between like 3 and 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
All right, well, how did you get into the hospitality business in the first place?
Well, my aunt and uncle owned an Italian restaurant in San Clemente, California called Sonny's Pizza, and I started washing dishes for them when I was 20 years old and really took a liking to the business and a liking to his concept and the food he was serving, and so stayed about 6-8 years and then moved to Boulder and opened up my first restaurant on September 16th, 1988, so almost 35 years.
35 years in Boulder owning restaurants.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
You've been through a lot of stuff, political, economic ups and downs, all kinds of different, recessions, and wow.
Whatever they can throw at you.
Whatever they can throw at you.
Yeah.
They keep trying.
Yeah.
They're trying more and more lately, it seems like it.
Exactly.
Why did you come to Boulder?
Yeah, I went to school here for 1 year and fell in love with the town and wanted to move back and open a restaurant here. So Boulder's a beautiful town. I love this place. It's, so it was, when I left Sonny's, I left September 15th, 1987, and I drove all over the country. I went to Austin, Texas. I went to Bend, Oregon. I went to North Carolina. I went to Chapel Hill. I went to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and drove for like 5 months checking out different towns just to make sure Boulder was the place. And that was always pulling at my heartstrings. So I landed in Boulder on January 20th, 1988, rented a little house at 925 Pearl Street on April 14th, and September 15th, later that year, got open. 28 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it this location?
No, it was half a block down.
Okay.
So this is our third location in Boulder.
Third location in Boulder?
Yep, all on Pearl Street, though.
What was it called?
Pasta J's.
It was Pasta J's. Like you started out as Pasta J's.
Yeah, started out as Pasta J's.
But this is just the third location you've been in.
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you been in this location?
Over 20 years. I think it's been 23 years or something like that. Yeah, at least.
Do you own the building?
No. Wish I did.
Yeah, right.
Made a couple offers on it so far, so, who knows, one day.
Okay, so that's interesting. You drove around to all these. I think every town you mentioned was a university town.
Yeah,
so you knew you wanted to be in a college town.
Yeah, I like that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Vibrant.
A lot of energy.
A lot
of new customers every year, new parents coming in.
Yeah. They're tourist towns, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, I mean, be hard to argue against Boulder, man.
Right?
This is kind of
turned
into my
awesome.
home away from home. If I weren't so entrenched in North Carolina, I think I'd. Maybe if I can convince my wife doesn't like the cold very much, so that's my challenge. But I like to travel out here when I can. I love it out here. It's a great town.
It is.
Really nice people out here. Always.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody I run into is just happy, kind. Just living a fun life. I mean, you have like the fittest city in America. It seems like everybody here's fit. Like everybody's
exactly.
Walking, going on hikes, biking, mountain biking,
outdoors,
skiing,
getting that vitamin
super
D.
Outdoorsy. That's right, man.
Sun. It's awesome.
Okay, so, but this town has changed a ton then since you first came out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I would imagine, I know there's still, the university was thriving, but I would imagine it was a little more laid back kind of vibe back in the day.
Yeah, it was.
You just got, I say tons of growth, but like the Boulder city limits don't grow, right? Isn't that how it is?
No,
like all these.
They don't grow. I think Boulder's 7 square miles.
Okay.
I think that's the city limits, I believe.
Okay. So then you've got all these communities outside of Boulder that's kind of blown up over the last decade or two.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Okay, so you're 28 years old. You find a space. You sign a lease for Pasta J's.
Yep.
Were you funding this all yourself? Did you get investors?
I borrowed $50,000 from my mom and dad.
You borrowed $50K from mom and dad. Okay.
And then it cost more than double that to open it up. And I didn't have the money to pay the contractor, the plumber, the electrician. And I go, guys, I said, I'll promise, don't put a lien on me. I promise I'll pay you back. I promise. And I had them all paid back by the end of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're all still friends to this day.
You probably couldn't tell people into doing that these days.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like back in the day, it's like, hey man, handshake. Like,
even
my word.
The city was so easy to work with. The guy that was the city inspector, the building department, They were like, we were telling what we wanted to do, and sure, no problem. You're here, no problem. It was, got a building permit in a day, all just
not like that now.
Not like that now. Yeah.
Well, what? Okay, so what about it? Like, what happened? You're 20 years old. You're working with your aunt and uncle. You said.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
They I was saving money to go to school. I went to the University of Colorado for a year. They called me up in the spring of, I can't remember, it was 81 or 82, and said, I was at school, and they said, will you take it next semester off and run the restaurant because we're going to go to Italy for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And CU had a program where you could take off a semester and still be enrolled, so I did.
Okay.
They got back from Italy, and they said, how'd it go? How did you like the business? I said, they go, what do you want to do when you get out of college? I said, I want to open up a Sonny's Pizza. That's the name of my uncle, and that's the name of his place. And they said, don't go back to school. We'll teach you everything you need to know. And so it took a long time to make that decision. But finally, my Uncle Bob came out, and he said, I told him my dilemma, and he said, unless you're going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, he said, I'd take your uncle up on his offer.
Yeah.
So that kind of pushed me over the top, and so I stayed another 6 years and learned everything, and grabbed the pot, stirring paddle, everything I could throw into my truck. I grabbed what I could, and recipes, and moved here.
Why do you love it? What is it about this business?
The people, right?
People.
Yeah, it's about the people. It's about the community, the interaction with people, making people happy.
Making people smile.
Yeah, making people smile. Hospitality, right?
Yeah.
It's what is it? It comes from a Greek word. Was it the two roots? Hospitality for love of strangers. Is that what it is? So it's that's what we do here. We love on the people that come in here and try to make them happy. And when people are happy, it's fun and it creates a great vibe. And that's what keeps you going.
You like the energy.
Yeah.
I can tell you're sitting here. I could tell walking in. You were second we started talking, I could just tell you just like the buzz and the energy here.
Yeah. When it's busy.
Never gets old, right when it's busy, right?
Exactly.
Well, have there been times when you thought this business is too tough? I may want to do something else.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any other skill set, so I'm kind of stuck in this at this point in time.
Yeah. Yes, but I would argue that. See, my contention is that if you can be successful in this business, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because the diversity of skill sets you have to be successful owning and running a restaurant is unparalleled, in my opinion, compared to any other. There's just nowhere else, Jay, where you have, how much things change on a daily basis, the flows of staff, customers, all the variables that are in play. You're dealing with every freaking aspect of the economy and the supply chain. You have long hours, and you have to be able to keep your cool under you're in the weeds, and you just got to be able to keep your cool and keep the right perspective. I truly believe that. I think it's the most. That's why I've told all my kids, whatever you want to do in life, I want you all to work for a restaurant. Before you decide, because what you would carry away from working in a restaurant and learning to manage all that is you're not going to, there's no other job where you have to navigate all that. It's like
even learning how to mop a floor or sweep a floor.
All of it.
All of it comes into play.
All of it.
These kids come in here, they don't know how to sweep. They don't know how to mop. Those type of skill sets haven't been taught to them when they were younger.
No. No, they really don't. Well, I'm curious. You've been at it long enough. You've seen, the workforce go through all kinds of changes over the decades. How have you had to change, especially over the last, 10 years or so, with social media and these phones? Everybody has all that, in their hands all the time. And
I always tell everybody I'm the only one getting older in the business. Everybody else is staying the same age. So we're working with kids all the time. So you've got to adapt to what the social mores of the day are, what they're used to and what they're being taught. And And it's bad. I was when my uncle ruled with an iron fist, and that was kind of my management style, and that's had to change over the years. That doesn't motivate people anymore. Encouragement is the best form of motivation these days.
So you've really had to adapt your style over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's not an easy thing to do for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why you've been at it this long. I mean, some people, they can't change, and times change around them, and good people don't want to work for them.
Yeah.
But then there's certain things that can't change for a restaurant to be successful. I mean, you have to have people that are focused on the guest, that can leave their problems at home, hopefully. And I mean, how do you? Is it harder to find people that will do that these days, that you can bring onto your team and keep on your team?
We ran through a period there, just before and after the pandemic, and since the pandemic has been over, we're doing great. I mean, we came out of the pandemic bigger, stronger, faster. Our staff's great, management's great. We still have issues and problems, just like we always did, but not as pronounced or severe as they were.
What changed through the pandemic? How'd you get better?
The core people that came back and wanted to work and wanted to create that culture and environment again, and they didn't want what was happening during the pandemic or post-pandemic right away, because everything changed. The culture changed. Nobody wanted to work. Everybody's getting checks from the government. And it was just a different vibe. And then the core people that believed in Pasta J's, the La Familia, the people that that you can count on, those guys really stepped up and said and really took reins and said, this is our culture, this is how we're going to do it, this is who we're going to hire, and this is how we're going to train them, and this is how we're going to move forward. And it took a little while to put it together, but they did it, and everybody that's been hired has bought into it. So, I mean, our least tenured cook in the kitchen right now has been here a year and 8 months. Our least tenured?
A year and 8 months?
Yeah, that's insane, right? Cooks don't stay long. That's
incredible, especially nowadays.
Yeah, especially nowadays. All right, so. Yeah, so that's...
How much are you paying these folks? Enough?
Yeah.
How do you keep them?
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to do, Jay.
Yeah.
That says a lot to your leadership style and your management team's leadership style. That's extremely challenging. Have y'all changed obviously pay's gone up.
Pay's gone up.
Have you changed the types of benefits or things you do for people? Or
the pay's gone up, and then just appreciating them. But the management has really been holding everybody together. The kitchen manager here, Manuel, does a great job, and he's really found a way to retain the cooks and get everybody to believe in the product that we're selling, and producing a great product, consistent product daily. And then Jackie, at the front of the house, she's been doing the same thing, just really keeping the staff feeling like they're part of a family, And it's the same thing in Moab too. We've got good management down there, and they're doing the same types of things, and people want to step up. People see a need in the restaurant. When we're out hiring managers, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, after the pandemic, and people internally saw the need, saw us hire people, saw those people not buy into the culture, and then stepped up and said, I know what to do. I will maintain and encourage the culture and bring it forth. And so, at first they didn't want to. They were kind of scared, and then they saw what was coming through, and they're like, good grief, these people don't belong here. We belong here. We belong. We need to be in charge. So it's been nice to see. That's happened at both places.
When did you open in Moab?
31 years ago.
Why Moab? You're a mountain biker?
Oh, no, but my attorney is from Moab originally. He's
okay.
Mike Bynum. He's from Boulder. He used to live in Boulder, but he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So
says the guy with the Don Corleone poster right over his shoulder.
Exactly. But that's the truth. And so I've been down there ever since. I go to Moab every other week. And
did he send Luca Brazzi out here? Or what?
Exactly. Yeah, right. He does have a Luca Brasi. I haven't had the chance of meeting him. He hasn't thrown him my way yet.
Moab. I've always wanted to go there. I like mountain biking. I've heard it's beautiful out there.
It's great. Great. I've got a nice home down there. If you want to go down, let me know, and you can stay at the house.
How often do you go down there?
Gosh, at least once every 2 or 3 weeks. I spend about a third of my time down in Moab.
When's the best time of year to go out there?
March and April and May. It's crowded, but October's really nice too. October and September. September's a little bit warm. October's good. I like November. Not a lot of tourists there. You get to see do a lot of different things. And
how big is the town?
The town between December and March is 6,500 people.
All right. And how large is Boulder?
Boulder's 100,000. And between March and November, Moab gets 3 million people.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, it's got 2 national parks. Yeah, and then it's mountain biking, Jeep safari, all that extreme sports activities, So they, yeah. So it's crazy. So the town's, when I first opened up there, the town was 5,500. 30 years later, it's at 6,500. And
do you drive, or how do you get there?
They do have flights. They have 2 a day, I believe, out of Denver. I think they've got one out of Salt Lake City. But I've flown. I've done everything to get down there, but I mostly drive.
How far of a drive is it from here?
6 hours.
Okay.
I drive. Tori, who makes our bread and does our breadcrumbs, I bring breadcrumbs. I bring like 300 pounds of breadcrumbs every 3 weeks down to Moab for our chicken parmesan. Because the breadcrumbs are so good and it's such a signature dish for us. We can't get anything like that from Cisco products or anything. So I call up our bread guy and he drops off about 320 pounds of breadcrumbs. I throw them in the back of the car and drive them down. So we're still a grassroots company.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. What do you do when you're on the road? What do you listen to? Music, podcasts?
Everything.
Quiet time to think.
Quiet time to think. Listen to music. Listen to, on the phone a lot. Whatever.
Long drives are good phone times.
Yeah, they are good phone times.
You're not distracted.
And I know where all the dead spots are for the cell towers and stuff, so I make sure I time the phone calls accordingly. What
kind of music do you listen to?
Classic rock, Grateful Dead. A lot of soul music, Soul Town. Motown. So Motown, classic rock, Grateful Dead. I'm a big Grateful Dead fan. Yeah. So
a lot of dead fans out here.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Do you know Stratton Smith?
No, I don't think so.
He lives here. He has some big. Don't they have like the Dead? Don't they play up at Red Rocks every summer around July 4th or something like that?
Well, they Dead and Company's playing out
there.
Company. Yeah.
He has some big Grateful Dead party or something.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. I got introduced to him through Dave. So well, that's okay. So you got 31 years down there, 35 years here. Dude,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
It really is. Is it? What's the concept there? Is it Passages?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you had 2 within 4 years.
Yep. And I do have a steakhouse in Moab too.
Okay. You do have a steakhouse.
Yep. So I opened up. I named it after my kids. My daughter's name's Josie, and my son's name's Jay Wyatt. And I wanted to open up a Western style steakhouse, so I opened up a place called Josie Wyatt's Grill.
Ooh.
In Moab. And so.
When did you open that?
It's been 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just Josie at the beginning of the pandemic, we had that good fortune. Imagine those capital calls.
Selling steaks.
Yeah.
Hard to do steaks to go. Yeah. I'd like to. I need to head out there sometimes.
I'm telling you, if you do, let me know. I'll, give me a holler, and then we'll set you up in the house. And
how old are your kids?
21 and 22.
Do they work for you?
My daughter's over in Florence, Italy right now for a study abroad program. That's why I'm going over there in a couple. Well, I'm going over there Tuesday to see her.
Where's she go to school?
At CU.
Okay.
Yeah, and my son's up at CU, and he graduates May 11th.
Nice.
Yeah. So
what's he going to do?
He's real estate development is his degree, so
he's going to be rich.
Yeah, he is. I said, who's the 2 richest guys? Tebow and Trump, right?
Yeah,
right?
It's like,
so.
Everybody I know that does real estate development's doing just fine.
He's already got a job offer from Stephen Tebow in town, so.
Oh wow!
So
really?
That's
great.
Yeah, so he's just ready to get out of school and start to work. I'm ready to start to work to get off the payroll.
Right. What do you think about Dion coming out here?
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. We've been feeding the University of Colorado since 1989. We had the contract for the CU athletic department.
Really?
Yeah, and the contract ended. They kept extending it the last couple of years. Like the last 5 years, it kept going on to these one-year extensions instead of throwing it out to RFP. And finally, Grant Street, which is down in Denver, that's where all the administration works out of. We're telling the university, you can't keep doing these one-year extensions. This is against our bylaws or whatever. And so we started working on the university taking that program internally. So they hired a dietitian, and I hired the chefs and the dining room banquet captain and all that. And we transferred the whole program over to the university just about the time that the pandemic was hitting. And and so they've now got it internally up there. But the cafe up there still the Pasta J's Cafe, so they've still kept our signage and all that kind of marketing stuff. So, and we still do a lot. I mean, we've done all the recruiting meals here. I was wondering what my position, because I have 3 seats on the team plane. I travel with the team on the sidelines. I feed the marching band when we do the Stampede for free downtown.
Oh, wow.
We do the coaches' meals during the season on every Sunday. We do lots of programs for them. I mean, we're doing the announcement party today for the women's basketball team up at the university right now. They're ranked 20th in the country, and so they're going to the NCAA finals. Or not finals, but to the NCAA tournament. Yeah. So we're still heavily involved with them. But I was wondering, with Dion, he's really got it locked down, really locked down. And so I was up at the university 3 weeks ago, and I was at practice and workouts, and all the coaches were there. And I've had the coaches in here for dinner, and we've been, really building a great relationship with them. And one of the administrators came up to me and handed me my all-access pass card that gets me into the building, gets me into everything. And they said, here's your card.
Nice.
I'm part of the deal. So
dude.
I started crying. I was so excited,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, so I get to wander the building still and say hi to the coaches. I see Prime all the time, and, he doesn't say a lot, but I always say hi to him. It's funny is my son's up there working for him. He's running routes for the team, and so he's up there every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning running routes for the football team. So it's
really?
Good. Yeah, he's having a ball doing it.
Did he play football?
In high school he did.
Yeah.
And but he works for the equipment department, so they grabbed him from the equipment department and said, listen, we need you, because he's really smart.
Yeah.
Kid's smart. And so we need you to run routes for us. And they give him the plays, and they do that, and he picks it up real fast, and They give the defense a look at what the particular offense might do, and he's having a ball with it.
So, my daughter she's a freshman at Penn State, but when she was looking at schools, CU was high on her list.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were like, man, we're in North Carolina. I was like, that's a long way to go. My daughter, I don't know if I want her that far, but we wanted her to visit and see. I got super lucky in August of 2021, like that was right before her senior year and a half ago. We were going to come visit. Well, Dave had called me up a couple months prior and said, look, Dana and I, they go up to that place they got in Michigan every summer.
Yeah.
So he's like, look, we're going to be gone for most of August. Why don't you bring your family out and stay in our house and hang out in Boulder?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, perfect. Well, that's a good time for us to visit, CU. And then I decided it would be a good idea to drive out here from Charlotte in an RV.
Yeah.
Well, it was like a vacation movie because I was like in heaven, and my whole family's like, this is boring, and my wife's like a terrible passenger and like freaking out all the time, thinking I'm going to wreck this. Anyway, by the time we get here, we do this tour of CU like first day, and we're walking around. It was like August. It's beautiful. It's 70 degrees.
The architecture on the campus is unbelievable.
It was a sunny day, and I'm like, gosh, she is going to want to go here, man. There's no stopping it. And we got done, and I'm like, Bella, what'd you think? She's like, oh, it's amazing, but I'm not going here. I'm like, why? She goes,
because that drive made me realize how far this is. I don't. So we got so lucky because like when you come out here, especially when you drive in an RV, it just seems like it's forever.
Yeah.
When little does she know it's like a little 3-hour quick flight. But,
Right.
So she quickly decided this wasn't where she was going to get. Now I kind of wish she did because it's going to be so much fun with the football team and Prime and everything. But
we're going to be winning championships here now.
You guys are going to be doing well.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you've been at this a long time. You've seen people come and go. You've seen restaurants come here and make it. You've seen guys like Dave do well for a long time.
Yep.
And you've seen people, come and hang a shingle out and try it and not make it. What I know this is like a really broad, open-ended, wide-ranging question, but like, what are the things you see, if anything, that people just don't figure out that end up having to close?
Consistency and a dedication to the product.
Consistency in the food, the service, the whole deal. Brand, everything,
and not downside, not compromising on the product.
Okay.
I've had consultants come in here and say, hey, you can buy the sauce in a can and it'll save you a lot of money, and they don't get it.
Right. They're looking at spreadsheets and numbers and not what that sauce really means to the business and to the customer and to the So
exactly.
They just don't. People just will compromise trying to cut costs or whatever. The customers pick it up real fast.
Exactly.
I mean, because you have to have had. I mean, you must have a super large group by this time, of loyal customers that are here often.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on Friday nights, I'll know 75% of the people in here.
Really?
Yeah. It's great. That brings back that La Familia, why you're in the business, because you get to see people and say hi, and it's like friend. They're all friends. It's where customers become friends.
Where customers become friends.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you said, okay, so I asked you if you own the building, and you said no, you made some offers. Is that what about Moab? You leasing your spaces there?
Yeah, I lease my space in there. The Josie Wyatt's, though, I'm a partnership in the whole project. It's part of a Hilton Curio project.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a partner in all that. So.
Okay. Well, if you're not able to own the space you're in, what are some important things when you're negotiating your leases to make sure you got a good long-term lease, and like what are the things you need to be thinking about?
Yeah, the landlords are getting greedier.
Are getting greedier.
Yeah, they are.
Getting harder and harder
to work with.
They
see your success, and they know they've got the location, even though maybe you made the location. Maybe it was not as good as it could have been, and because of the dedication we got, it made the location what it is. You know.
Well,
but it's
thank you.
I'm in the middle of doing all that stuff right now, trying to get more terms on the lease here and get more terms on the lease down in Moab, and just trying to, figure all that out. And they're, both landlords are saying, well, the lease we've got is 20 some years old. We need to redo the whole lease, and they're throwing all kinds of blue sky into it. I mean, even to the point where if I want to sell a portion of my business to an outside investor, that they have to have they have to have approval of who that is.
Really?
They just
why would they want that?
To control. Yeah. Control what's going on here, and make sure that I stay involved or whatever.
So if I was like, hey man, I want to buy, will you sell me 20% of you, whatever? You and I work out a deal. They have to approve.
They that's in one of the clauses.
That's kind of weird.
It's so crazy, these leases I'm reading right now, and everybody's saying the same thing. Well, the old lease is 20, 25 years old, so now, I don't care. The old leases work. They're pretty straightforward. They're 20 pages long, not 38 pages long like they are now. Yeah.
Do you so when you do a lease, it's normally a 20, 25 year?
It's 20 years.
20-year lease.
Yeah, 20-year lease.
So you're coming up on both of them at the same time, and
this one I keep extending. So So I'm trying to I'm going out 10 more years than what I've got left on this thing. So I keep extending this one. The one down in Moab at Pasta J's is still 15 years on it, and I'm going to them because I want to do a little remodel on it. And if I invest that much money, I said, listen, I'm going to better the property. Let's let's extend the lease so the kids got something coming in. They got an annuity, you know.
Yeah.
So
So you need to have a good attorney when you're doing these leases.
well, before I didn't, you know. I mean, I've read so many leases and stuff. Before I wasn't, but this one I'm doing on the building here is, I called up the attorney. I said, listen, I'm sending this over to you. I'm sending you over the old lease. I said, take the gloves off. This is, they're asking for blue sky. We're going to really pick this thing down. So, so I've got him working on it. I told him I'd read it on the way over to Italy this next Tuesday and make all my points on it and give him a call.
Does your landlord live here?
It's the property manager lives here. It's Sachs Family Trust, and Don Sachs lives in Aspen, but the trustee lives in Wayne Silverman lives in Chicago. They're nice guys, good guys.
It's it's interesting because, I mean, really for the last handful or more of years, money's been basically free.
Yeah.
Which means that, all these, whether it's university towns, ski towns, or real estate has just gone through the roof. People have gone in and just bought all these things up, and rents are up. That's actually an interesting question too. It isn't cheap to live in Boulder.
No.
I mean, if you work in a restaurant, where do you live?
Yeah, right. A lot of the kids, they live outside of town. Louisville, Longmont, Lafayette.
So they got to drive.
They got to drive. A lot of kids live up on the hill and, gun barrel and have multiple roommates. How's the stuffed shells?
Freaking good, dude.
Are they great? Yeah, they're good.
Really good.
Yeah, they're good.
Really, really good. Hits the spot so well after a long day traveling out here. Yeah, I wonder about that. I mean, it's, pay can go up and everything, but eventually it's hard to, I don't know how far those drives are, but, it's a long way to drive to.
Yeah.
Do y'all work with, do y'all try to find creative ways to, I don't know, to help people pay for their commutes or?
Yeah, we have a bus program for the employees.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they get a bus pass, or I'm not sure how it works, but I know that we do a bus pass for them, and because they work downtown, so they're able to cut that cost.
Gotcha. So when you're going to Italy next week?
Yeah, March 14th, Tuesday.
Oh, this Tuesday.
Yeah, this
like
Tuesday.
2 days.
Yeah.
Where do you fly? Like, is it from Denver to where?
Well, I'm flying Denver to Leipzig, Germany, and picking up a car to drive down to see my daughter.
Oh, you're driving down.
Yeah, so I'm going to drive down to Florence, and then I've always wanted to drive the coast of Italy, so I'm driving the whole Adriatic all the way around, going to Sicily, and then driving all the way back up to Paris and back over to Leipzig and dropping the car off. So I'm going to be gone 6 weeks.
I was going to say, okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover like 4,000 miles. So
That's a lot of driving.
A lot of driving, a lot of sightseeing.
That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, should be a good trip. I'm going to go station in a few towns along the way and then explore the area. That's, so a few fishing villages along the way, stay for 3 or 4 days, explore the area.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You've been to Italy before. Have you been for this long?
No.
This is a long trip.
This is a long trip.
Have you been anywhere for 6 weeks?
I go, I'm like Dave. I go to Michigan. Him and I, we're about 2.5 hours apart up in northern Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, he's on Crystal Lake. I'm on Lake Avalon, which is across the state.
You have a place out there?
Yeah, and so him and I both go up, and we've never connected while we've been up there, but we always keep threatening that we will.
So what is it about? It just must be a beautiful lake country. I mean, how's it?
Oh my
dudes
gosh.
from Boulder that own a restaurant. Well, he's got family.
Yeah, well, my family's from there. So
okay.
I'm from Michigan originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were from California.
Yeah. No, I'm
Your
not.
aunt and uncle were out there.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle out there. But yeah, it's a tropical paradise. During the months of June, July, and August. What they say, Michigan has 4 seasons: June, July, August, and winter.
That's hilarious.
That's the 4 seasons.
So it's just beautiful out there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's a best kept secret in North America.
But 6 weeks going to Michigan's one thing. 6 weeks, overseas in Europe, it's a long time to be gone. You got to have a lot of trust in your team. You got good folks in here in place. That, I mean, you can obviously communicate these days fairly easily, but
and that's the key. Staying in communication with everybody, and you had Zoom calls all the time. You had everything, phones.
Good thing you're driving. I remember in this was like 94, so almost 30 years ago. But I was over for a semester in London, and we had like our fall break, and we were making our way down through Germany, and then we were in Munich, and we were going to take a train to Venice. And just the day that we were leaving, the Italian trains went on strike.
Oh, jeez.
And in Munich, they're like, our train, like, we can get you to the border, but
that's it.
We're like, what do you mean? What do you have to walk? They're like, you can figure it out from there, or you can do something different. And we're like, well, how long are they going on strike? They're like, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? So we kind of stayed there another day, and then they're like, yeah, they're still like, it's probably not going to. So we had to just, we never got to go to Italy. So I've always wanted to go. That was like, we couldn't get into Italy. Like,
so you guys are stuck in Munich.
Well, we wound up. There were 6 of us. My friends. 5 of them went to Zurich, and I went to Innsbruck, Austria.
Oh, nice.
And ski. I just wanted to go glacier skiing. I just sounded cool. This was in like September or October, so there was no, but Stubeglaschen is like year round, and so I just went to Austria by myself.
Yeah.
Went glacier skiing for a day,
wow.
which is like nothing. It's like, I mean, it's like one, but
yeah.
But it was really cool. Austria was freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And then somehow, and we were actually talking about this recently because this is 94. We were just like, this is how different things, like everybody's like so connected now, and you like know where everybody is all the time.
Yeah.
We were just like, okay, we're going to stay at this hostel in Nice, starting next Thursday. Let's just find each other there.
Yeah.
And so for like
you did.
2 or 3 days, or I was just by myself there in Zurich, and the next thing I know, we're in, we're all at this hostel in Nice.
Nice, down the French Riviera.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, good.
Yeah. Do you speak French?
No.
Good. Yeah. You're better off not speaking French. If you try to speak French like I did, I took it all through high school, and like I'm like, I know French, and they're like, they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like it when you.
Part of my trip, my son's coming over. And I said, where do you want to go? And he goes, Monte Carlo. So we're going to go over to Monte Carlo and stay in Nice for a few days. So
it's beautiful.
It's
really beautiful there. It really is.
Yeah. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Yeah.
What's the weather like this time of year?
I haven't checked. I'm afraid to.
Good. Well, you got 6 weeks. I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit some good everything.
I'm going to hit some good weather along the way for sure.
Do you ski?
Yeah, love skiing.
Yeah. Did you start when you moved out here? Or
I skied on ice back in Michigan. Yeah.
The guy I learned to, the guy that taught me to ski in the North Carolina mountains was there. This is when I was like 5, but he was there in Boone, going to App State, and he was a freshman. And my parents took me up, and they put me on skis. This guy was from Michigan.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, is there mountains in Michigan? He's like, yeah, just like the ones here. They're really small, and it's crappy conditions, but, like, if you can ski on this, you can kind of ski anywhere.
Yeah, you learn how to catch an edge.
You learn how to catch an edge. You learn how to deal with people that don't have a clue how to ski.
Yeah.
You deal with, like, slush mixed with ice, mixed with, it's all kinds of stuff. So where should I go? I'm going to go on Tuesday. For like a day trip.
For a day trip. Gosh,
I've been to Eldora, but I want to go to either like somewhere like I don't.
There's so many great places. Is
Winter Park good?
Winter Park's awesome.
It's like an hour and a half from here or something.
Hour and a half. Copper Mountain's awesome. That's like an hour and 15 and a half from here.
Okay.
A Basin is the legend, and there's a reason they call it the legend. I mean, that's just breathtaking. And then Keystone. I mean,
what's breathtaking about just
the elevation is so high, and you're just like in this bowl area, and the mountains are just unbelievable.
Oh, it's
steep, and it's just great.
Okay.
Yeah, good place. But you've got 4 places all within an hour and a half that are just epic. Fun to go on.
Who do you I know you have kids and you're very busy with your businesses. Are there other folks like Dave and other restaurant owners around here that you hang out with or share ideas with? Or
yeah, every once in a while. Dave's always a good, the guy's a guru, right?
He is a guru. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's got personality plus.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
So as evidence in those emails where you introduced. Dude,
Yeah, he's awesome.
guy's off the chart.
You know, he's a very well respected businessman in this community. That's for sure.
Yeah.
When
Good
when he talks, people listen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
they should, for sure.
You know.
So, I mean, 35 years in this.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan? Do you have a retirement plan one
no,
day?
there's no exit strategy.
There's
no.
keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, just keep doing it. The lifestyle is pretty good right now.
Lifestyle's pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Right. That's good.
You know, so it's, I don't know. You know, I always think about what the exit strategy would be and try to put things together. But, you know, it's always comes down to just take care of business and, you know, and vacation as much as you can, do what you want. You know,
enjoy life. Hey, man,
Enjoy
you got a
life,
lot
right?
of energy for it, so why
Yeah.
even bother thinking about that? Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good. Well, that sounds like a fun trip you have planned.
yeah, it should.
Going
Yeah, it'll be
back
good.
to so you're going to go to. So we were talking about The Godfather. We're both fans
Yeah.
of that movie. And you're going to go to
Sicily.
and-
Yeah, 4 days in Sicily. So that'll be. We're gonna stay in Termina.
You're going to have some bodyguards following you around, walking around,
yeah, right.
walking
I
stick.
was gonna go to Palermo, but I hear the mafia is pretty strong there. So I'm like, I don't, I want to be safe. But yeah, it should be a good trip. You know, I want to check out the Godfather scenes and just become part of the culture.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, it is amazing just seeing. I mean, this place is just, you're packed out. Like,
Yeah.
Completely full.
Like I said, our rush hits 2 or 3 o'clock on Sundays and goes till about 8 o'clock. So just stays steady like this all afternoon, and and then it's a Sunday, so dies off pretty early, 9 o'clock. Boulder gets pretty. It's still a little college town, Gets to be a ghost town late at night.
Yeah. Anything else on your mind?
No, nothing that I can mention. That one's for Dave.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you doing this.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate your business.
Yeah, no, appreciate you doing this. This is
Yeah.
great. You guys got a great product. I mean, we use it at all the restaurants, and it's the staple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the staple in the restaurant community. Everybody's using it and on fire about it.
Well,
So congratulations on your success with that. That's pretty cool.
16 years.
16 years, really.
16 years. Hard
Wow.
to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 years. And
do you have any competition with that? Is anybody else trying
yeah.
to? Yeah.
dude,
we
have a lot of competition actually.
Because we don't hear about anybody else.
well-
I mean, this is the benchmark. Schedulefly is the benchmark. So I imagine everybody's coming after you.
We do have a lot of we do in some ways, but here's the deal: we've kept our software deliberately. We've kept it very simple.
Yeah.
Right. Like it doesn't change much.
Yeah.
Like a great restaurant. Like you just, you keep things simple, execute every day.
Yeah.
We take great care of our customers when they need something. I'd put our customer service up against
Yeah.
anybody for any reason. But, we have like 6,000 customers-ish, right?
Yeah.
There's, hundreds of thousands of restaurants. They all, if they're not on some scheduling software now, they probably will be at some point.
Yeah.
And and we've always focused on serving independent restaurants.
Yeah.
We didn't want to serve chains because to serve chains, you have to add a bunch of stuff to your software. And now this thing that people like because it was simple becomes complicated.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of, beholden to what the chains want, to
Yeah.
do. And you go sign some chain that's got 1,200 locations and then,
Yeah.
3 years later, they're like, we're
Yeah,
pulling
they're
the plug
pulling,
and,
yeah.
like just too, yeah. Like,
So you're building loyalty through the independents.
yeah,
Basically.
and we are. But what other people saw was, well, I mean, we have 5 people in our company. We've had the same 5 for 16
Yeah.
years. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So we don't really have we don't have a sales force. We don't do advertising and stuff like that. So a lot of money came into this space, Jay, in the last 5-7 years. It's been like hundreds of millions of dollars invested into competitive companies.
Really?
Oh yeah, and which has been actually in some ways good because it elevates. There's more people talking about online scheduling and communication, And we kind of fit in this place where, let's say you're on pencil and paper or you're on Excel, and that eventually doesn't work and you're having problems, so you want to look for something. If you just want something simple, you're going to choose ScheduleFly, and as long as you just want something simple, then we're like all you need. Like,
Yeah.
And you're happy.
Yeah.
And we'll serve, Dave's got, I don't know how many, 15, 16 locations
Yeah.
now or whatever. Eventually, sometimes they will get, the larger ones will get to where they become very corporate. They bring in a lot of executives from chains, and they want like everything buttoned up and really tight and then dialed into the point of sale and all this kind of stuff. So we don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Competitors do. And because of that, they have, big, comprehensive kind of, some might say clunky software, but it has all these bells and whistles that we're never going to have. So people that want the bells and whistles, there's 10 companies that do that. People that want just simple, we're it. So
when we opened up Josie Wyatt's, they used a different platform because the manager that we hired, the F&B director, was using that platform at a place before.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for us.
Yeah.
It was too complicated. It wasn't simple enough. It wasn't reactive enough to what we needed for there.
Yeah.
So we switched that over as well just recently.
Well,
so that's good.
That's where we do well.
Yeah.
People that just want simple.
Yeah.
There are people that are used to complicated things, and that's fine. Like, we're never going to be, it's actually good. Early on, there weren't many other companies, and people would be like, we'd have customers saying, why don't you do this, or why don't you add this? And we'd say, well, that's just not what, that's not what. So then you have like a frustrated customer who wants you to do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's better that they go find something that has that stuff, so that they're happy. And then we don't want to have customers that feel like, ScheduleFly, doesn't care about what we want, what we need.
Yeah,
we do. It's just that we know what we want to provide, and we know that there's an audience for that, and that's who we want to serve.
Yeah.
And if you need more stuff, go look around. There's lots of other stuff. So anyway. I didn't want this to turn into. But
it's great.
I mean, thanks for
it's great to hear. Man. That's awesome.
16 years, same five. We've never raised our same pricing we've had for 16 years. Just try to keep it simple as can be, and by doing that, then we just don't have a lot of customer service demand, which means that when we have it, you
can execute it, whatever it needs to be. Yeah,
that's it.
That's good.
So
that's good.
My cell phone number's on our website, like on our public website. It's right there.
Yeah.
People want to call me, call my cell.
Yeah, good.
Unless I'm doing something like this with you right now, you're going to get an answer probably. So.
Well, you got to let me know when you're going to come down to Moab. You got
my number
I'm now, and
I want to do that for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got. I mean, this
no reason not to.
You've just prompted a reinvestigation of this, because for years, some of my buddies and I, like the guys I would come out west to go skiing with in the winter, we've always been like, we got to go mountain biking in Moab. Nobody ever follows up. Nobody knows anything, about Moab. Nobody's been, so it's always now this is I got to make this happen.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's only a 6-hour drive from here. They have direct flights from Denver, so I know my sister. She's going down there for spring break and flying into Denver and then catching the flight out from Denver down to Moab. So it's easy enough to get to these days, and you got a place to stay. The house is nice.
You sure?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, I may call you on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll enjoy. I might bring your golf clubs. I'm right on the 9th hole.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right on the 9th hole, right on the golf course. I'm outside of town. It's really quiet. It's beautiful. There's trails all around us for hiking and walking and biking and jeeping.
Oh man.
I mean, it's a good location.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So check it out.
I'll wait till you're back from from Italy. I'll be in touch. So
all right, that sounds
awesome,
good.
Man. Well, I appreciate that. Well, thank you for doing this, Jay. By the way, as you can probably see, I like the stuffed shells.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're really good. They're a staple. That's for sure.
It was excellent. Yeah. Absolutely hit the spot.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Will.
Thank you all for listening. More episodes coming soon. See you.